There's Lowdown, there's Below the Ground, and then there's Jimmy Kimmel. And where he can be found, folks, is somewhere you don't want to go. The man who is so beneath human dignity on ABC's late night TV has insulted yet again Charlie Kirk and the national tragedy in which Jimmy was a jerk and almost got fired. Today, we'll show you the video that has so many steaming and dreaming of the day that Disney finally lets this madman go. Hello, folks. Welcome back. Yet again, another video of excellence on the way as we continue to unveil and pull away the curtains of Holly Weird. As we dive in, click the like button, drop a comment down below, and let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to find out how Jimmy is causing Disney an awfully bad time. Jimmy Kimmel has become quite astute at being the dude who offends anybody who cared about Charlie Kirk. And I mean that. This guy is fantastic when it comes to making light of what occurred, and Jimmy Kimmel was a part of, the national tragedy and adding to it. This is out of That Park Place. And I gotta say, as these stories continue on, you gotta wonder how long until Disney says, screw it, we're gonna cut the cord no matter what. And maybe they'll have to, I don't know. This guy is the uncancelable and he never stops. Marvin Montanero has written this one. Jimmy Kimmel compares being taken off the air for 6 days. And we all know why, because he lied about a national tragedy. He lied about the person who ended Charlie Kirk in front of a large crowd for the world to see in a vicious way, caused a woman to become a widow, caused children to no longer have a father. Jimmy Kimmel lied about that guy. And he lied about it on national TV within a day before a funeral could even be had. Jimmy Kimmel compares that and then being taken off air for 6 days to a, quote, near-death experience, unquote. Now, I know that Jimmy Kimmel is foolish, but he's no idiot. He knows what he's doing here. Late-night host Jimmy Kimmel has found a new milestone in celebrity self-importance, comparing a brief 6-day television suspension to a near-death experience. Yes, really. Following his win for Best Talk Show at the 2026 Critics' Choice Awards, Kimmel reflected on his show being pulled off the air last year and described the ordeal in language typically reserved for medical emergencies, war, or, actual NDEs. Quote, it was almost a near-death experience for me, he said. Of course, not literally, but I did feel a little bit like Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, blah, blah, blah. Here's Jimmy.
I think that it's interesting. It was almost a near-death experience for me, and of course not literally, but I did feel a little bit like Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn watching their own funeral when all this stuff happened.
Pause here for a minute, guys. Let's talk about it. Panel, this guy was removed from the air because of a real death experience, not a near-death experience, a real death experience, a national tragedy, and this guy lied about it. Why does Disney allow him to be still be connected with their company in any way? I don't understand it.
Maybe his ratings are so low they figure anybody still watching him is beyond being offended by it.
His ratings are terrible. They're lower than they were when he was taken off the air.
I think they're afraid of upsetting a certain group of people that are very vocal, and they don't really care about a subject, but once it's in their zeitgeist, they will harness their minions and make a big fuss. And they all have the purple hair and things, but it's like you can't attack Jimmy Kimmel no matter what he says. It's like, and then they all wake up and they all go back to sleep. But they're the same people that don't buy anything and don't actually watch it.
Yeah. And by the way, he's not the only one. Did you see that Alec Baldwin described his experience as a near-death experience? And I mean, he actually pulled the trigger, for God's sakes, and somebody died.
Well, he was near-death.
Well, yeah.
Death that he did, yeah.
Well, his wife doesn't treat him very well, to be fair. So maybe he's been close to death.
That's why he married a woman named Hilaria?
I don't know.
Because she was so funny and cheerful and would make him, I don't know.
She certainly isn't. He's not exactly a super fun kettle of fish to be around either. But it doesn't, none of this, to me, the ratings are so bad on Kimmel, Disney would save money on their electric bill if this show didn't air. I'm not kidding. Genuinely emptying out that studio and using it for something more productive would be better.
Let me play a little bit more Jimmy. I don't want to, but we will. And then I'm going to show you the ratings for Jimmy Kimmel. So everybody can understand, Disney is attached to a loser. This guy is a total loser.
And to be here and to see that people reacted to it in a, not just a positive way, but in almost a desperate way. We're like, oh boy, when they come after the comedians, this is when we draw the line.
They came after you because you lied about someone who was just deleted, you boob. All right, here's what you need, folks. This is out of TV Insider. The late night ratings are in for the last competitive week of 2025, and it was another neck-and-neck finish between ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live and CBS's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Now, how in the world did Jimmy Kimmel manage to get above 2 million views on average, which is 2.33 million viewers on average, the final week of 2025? How did he do that? Because he's been down below 2 million. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you what they have to do now to try to save this man. Kimmel's guests for his final week of 2025 were Michelle Obama, Mia Goth, Will Arnett, Kamala Harris, Macaulay Culkin, Jason Clarke. Now, you compare that with who was on with Colbert. Sorry, I'm not trying to be offensive to Anderson Cooper and Hugh Jackman. Love you guys, sort of. But Michelle Obama is going to get ratings for reasons that, you all understand, right? Macaulay Culkin in the Christmas week is going to get views. That's just the way it is. And yet this guy barely breaks 2 million. They're being decimated by Gutfeld on Fox News every single week. Johnny Carson was pulling 6 times these numbers, easy. Leno and Letterman, same thing. We're being subjected to this guy week after week after week, and he is a nothing burger outside of Hollywood.
You're being too kind. This is the thing that bothers me about the ratings. I don't care if you have 2 million. I don't care if you have 2.33 million. I don't care if you have 2.34 million. I don't care if there's 100,000 variants. Do you know why? Because those numbers don't matter. The number that matters is the people in the demo, the people who have actual money that might spend it.
He's getting about 220,000 in
exactly.
the demo.
Oh. Yeah. And that's the real number. If you talk to anybody who's ever been in commercial television before, they'll tell you they're looking for the demo, the things that are across the demo. And they're looking at broader demographics than even the most simple one that's described, 18 to the
55 or whatever. Here's the thing, Culture. Okay, so let's run that number for a minute. He's in the final week, he gets 2 million views on average per show.
Yeah.
But he's only getting 200,000 in the demo, which is the 18 to 55. All right?
Yeah.
For 1/10 of your audience to be in the demo, your ratings literally have to be coming from assisted living. That's where we are.
Maybe assisted learning.
Leering.
I'm gonna be direct and honest with all of you. I was in the hospital, couldn't change the channel on my TV.
You were stuck with a 365 looping Jimmy Kimmel? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that I believe that's probably happening. Whether you're in a hospital or a prison cell, you might not be able to change the channel.
Also, if you're in a Leering Center or a hospital, you're stuck with Jimmy. That's the lesson we're learning here, especially Minnesota.
The difference being, in your case, you're liable to get out and be able to spend money. The people in prison, not so much.
That's true. And actually, I had my phone so I could spend money. I order Amazon. Whatever. Try and convince people that it wasn't that serious and stuff like that. So
Andy, part of what happened here is that Kimmel at the Critics' Choice Awards, he basically said thank you to the unions for saving him. And that lines up with what we reported is that the trade agencies were the ones who said, we'll give you nothing, Disney, until you put it back on the air. Now, my question is, at what point does he go so far that Disney just doesn't care anymore? Like, I know that Iger and Dana Walden agree with him politically 99.9% of the time, but they're business people too. And this guy pushes it so far. He's so offensive. I don't see how he can make it another 18 months.
I'd like to know who his advertisers are, and I don't mean the network ones. I mean the ones in the shared time with the Sinclair and all those other station groups. Who are they getting to put up any money at all to advertise with this guy?
Probably anger management and mood assistance substances. Go ahead, Andy.
I think that he recognizes that if he's not controversial, his days are really numbered.
Oh, that's a great point.
If he says something that's outlandish and is going to irritate a lot of people, it's going to get him some buzz, it's going to get him some attention. And with that, he's going to have a little bit more job security for a little bit longer anyway. because he can always cry that I was canceled because like of this reason. But the fact of the matter is, the worst thing that can happen to him is what will figuratively slit his throat with his employment is when he becomes completely irrelevant and no one gives him any attention for anything. So I think that's why he keeps saying these things that happen to be the push buttons that he knows will get attention.
That's a great point. I mean, he has nothing. He's not funny. So what else are you going to do? He's a shock jock.
And you notice he didn't mention Trump in this statement.
Oh, yeah, but
Because if he had, somebody would have asked Trump about it, and Trump would have said, "Who? I'm busy saving the world. Get back to me when you got nothing else to cover."
well, he was obsessed with Trump when it came to his acceptance speech. We could go to that one, and it's the same. It's the same screed you're used to. Wiz, when we pay attention to Jimmy Kimmel and the ratings, I don't think he gets anything past this 1 year extension. I think it's over after that. And I think Disney's going to be very excited to leave him behind. In fact, if Josh D'Amaro, the head of the parks, comes in, Josh D'Amaro does not want to be slimed by an association with Jimmy Kimmel. He's a gross guy.
Yeah, I think, the whole late night craze is going to be winding down pretty soon. I think we're reaching what feels like a kind of final point. Like, how long can Disney really keep this up? I mean, Colbert is going to be out soon. CBS isn't talking about replacing him. How much longer could this go on? But I actually want to just chime in on what the statement was that he said, that Jimmy Kimmel said, the near-death experience. Now, I've seen this clip before. We got to discuss it here, but the way that he says that, I feel is extremely genuine. And that may seem like, well, how could you believe that? This guy just lies all the time. It's like, because him and as we said earlier, like Alec Baldwin used the same phrase, and these people use phrases like that because their fame, that's their lifeblood.
They're narcissists, Wiz.
Nobody's more important than they are to themselves.
Right. The only life they live is the life that's before other people. They're not comfortable in their own skin. They're not happy in their own home. They don't have a place that is their abode other than trying to live in the expectations and the beliefs of others.
You know what I find really offensive about this whole thing with Kimmel, though? A few years back, he went through that thing with his son, who was gravely ill, and they weren't sure whether or not the little guy would make it.
The heart defect, yeah.
And then you come along and you're going to compare something like this to a near-death experience after your child had been that close to that?
Right, after your child had an NDE, yeah. It's gross, I agree. And there's no low Jimmy Kimmel won't go to. But Wiz is right. It is narcissism manifest. It is incarnate in this guy.
But, just like in politics, anybody who is the main talking head that's carrying a show is going to be a massive narcissist. That's just the way it is. If you're Jon Stewart, you're going to have, a narcissist on your show. Every single one of the guests that any of these people host are all massive narcissists themselves. You had a laundry list of people that showed up, and, his terrible week of 252,000 actual people that matter, show up to watch him, right? Well, Colbert's even worse than that. He can have on even worse narcissists, and it doesn't help his show at all. He ends up with only 181,000 people in the demo. And then there's everybody's favorite, wants to be loved guy, Jimmy Fallon, who has his own ride at Universal, who gets almost nobody watching his show. I mean, seriously, that guy is probably the last to leave. The party's over, lights are off. That guy's still in the room.
Is it fair
Everybody
to say
else
more
is
people
gone.
see him on the ride than they do on the air?
Well, for sure. Probably every day.
You guys are being mean. Jimmy Fallon beats Seth Meyers every single night. Come on. We really hope that you felt this video was satisfactual. We know we had an actual good time participating and communicating with each and every one of you out there listening. It is a great honor. It is a great pleasure, even a responsibility to do this on a daily basis. You give us the dream job we love doing, and for that we can never say thank you enough. There's only one small favor we ask beyond what has already been done, and that is, folks, consider it. That is clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts, because your thoughts do indeed matter, no matter what the mainstream media would otherwise say. Folks, as we say every single time we end these videos, because we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.